Hello everyone, this is Lisa Kester and I'm with Wild Acorns Art Studio, and I am located here in Cincinnati, Ohio. And today I am painting pottery. You never know what I'll be painting here. Sometimes I do acrylics, sometimes I do watercolor. I've been doing pottery for, probably 40 years. Long time. So I've, been mixing it up with acrylics and watercolor, just kind of break it up a little bit. But anyway, so here's what we're doing today. I had a couple people ask me to do some doodle bowls again. So this is one of the first ones I did, and it's one of my favorites. So I'm kind of happy I never sold it. But anyway, so that's what I'm doing today. And I'm using my Kiwi Underglazes. So I had about 8 of them, and I just ordered, probably another 8 more. I really like them. So I did a demo on them. Oh, I guess, it's probably been a month ago now. I've been so busy with, the holidays, and I had my art sale here at the house that I haven't done any pottery. I haven't done any painting really or anything. Once I got, doing, setting up for the art show, and we had a nice day. It was really hot. I did really well. Sold a lot of stuff, but I still have so much stuff. So it's hard to make a bunch more stuff when you got a she shed full of stuff still. So I don't know, I'm debating whether or not to get into some shows this year. But anyway, so here's the bowl I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be painting this with Kiwi Underglazes. And one thing that, I was not taught, well, I'm pretty much self-taught. I started pottery, like I said, 40 years ago, and then I took it for a while. And then when my kids were young, I had to stop for a while. And then I started back up again. But anyway, one thing that I didn't learn till later on is when you're trimming your pots, use a rubber rib. Especially, if you're using porcelain, it's probably not as important. But it's still going to smooth the bottoms. But I use grogged clay, so which means there's sand, grog in the clay. And it's really popular because it's so easy to throw with. The walls don't, you really don't worry too much about your walls falling down unless you get really thin spot or something. It works really well for my students where I teach at the rec center. But that being said, it doesn't matter on the sides if you are going to just dip it in a glaze or just paint it with a glaze. But when you're painting underglazes on it and you're going to put a clear, it's a little bit nicer to have it smooth, but especially the bottom. So when you're trimming on the wheel, use a rubber rib, or sometimes I'll use the back of my fingernail, or you can use a back of a spoon, anything really that's gives just maybe a little bit or has a smooth surface. And what it does is it presses the grog back down into the clay. So, I wish you could feel this. This is like baby butt smooth. It is just, oh my gosh, it is so smooth. So that's one thing that I try to remember to teach, the new students that come into Dunham where I teach. Because, when people, like I said, when I first started pottery, nobody told me this. And so people would always say, if I set it on my furniture, it's going to scratch the furniture. And I said, yeah, I'm sorry about that. Put some felt squares on it. But you really shouldn't have to. Just remember to burn it. It's kind of like burnishing. That's what you're kind of doing. You're burnishing the bottom. Anyway. Okay, so I'm going to lower you down, and let's see here. You can see it's nice and sunny today. We're supposed to get some rain, but I don't know if we will get it or not. It is so hot outside today. Oh my gosh. So here are my Kiwi Underglazes in here. And these are just ice cube trays with a lid. My Mayco Velvets are in a bead tray with a lid, but these are, I got these for my acrylics, and I had a couple left over, so I thought, well, I'll put my underglazes in there, my Kiwi Underglazes in there, because I like to keep them separate, especially while I'm testing them, you know. So anyway, okay, so these are pretty watery anyway, but yet they still have a really great color, which is amazing, because when I first started using them, I thought, oh gosh, they're so watery, they're going to be washed out, but they're really not. So, and this tray really keeps them nice and moist. So I'm going to start out now. You can put this on with a sponge or really anything you want. I've done it with sponge painting. I've done it with my fingers. I've got several videos. You have to kind of Google sponge painting or finger painting to find them. Look how bright that's going on. So like 1 jar of this. Okay, so this is probably only like 4 ounces. This is golden yellow, but so I don't know. This was probably $8. When you buy a pint of the Mayco Velvets, it's just like $63. So the Kiwis are winning out price-wise, I think. Now, I can't paint the bottom of this, but I'm probably not going to. The only reason that I kind of shy away from painting the bottoms anymore is because sometimes after glaze firing, you'll have a couple rough spots. So if I go to sand them down, then you're sanding off part of your design, and then it kind of doesn't look as good. Okay, so try to pick some colors that blend together well when you're doing this. This one here is lime green. So these are just so bright. Look at that. Now I'm not going to have this fired by the end of the video because I'm going to take it into work. Let's see. Probably take it into work on Wednesday and fire it. And it'll be ready this Friday, so then I'll come back and add the photo on. But look how vibrant that is. They go on just butter smooth. Really very nice. And they're out of New Zealand. There are a couple companies here in the US who sell them. I've only found a couple so far, but there may be more. I may just not have found them, but I did try to Google them the other day, and those are the only 2 I found. Like, some people said they did, but then when you really look at their company, they're not in the US. So let's see. So today is, did I say the date today? It's July, let's see, 4, 5, 7th, July 7th. Yesterday, well, actually, Friday was July 4th that we celebrate here in the US with fireworks and all sorts of picnics, and the fireworks are the best part, but they're not easy on the doggies and the cats, and people who have livestock and horses, I know it's, bad for them listening to all that noise. I always, think about, the people in the war countries who are experiencing war. And I think, gosh, how could they, I mean, it's hard to listen to. Like, I enjoy them, but all that, bang, bang, bang. It's hard after a while. I gotta remember to. I'm trying to blend in the edges here. I don't like, and so like when you see an edge like that, I plan on going back and smoothing these down somehow. Because I want them to blend together. I really don't want them to look like patchwork. So see how I'm going to try to blend that in a little bit. Yeah, I don't know how people, I feel sorry for the people who live in these countries where they're constantly at war, and gosh, have to live through that day in and day out. Send my prayers out to them. But it is nice here in the U.S. Just to be with family. That's the best part of it all, is to be with family and friends. I have 4 brothers, and we get together, and it's always nice to see them. I have a brother who comes up from Florida, and so it's always nice to see him on the holidays. Well, some holidays, not all of them, but. So I'm trying to blend this in here, if you can see that. So sometimes you have more layers than others. And I'll blend it in a little more. It's blended a little bit better than what it's showing on the camera. This is turquoise. This is called turquoise blue here. I was kind of trying to keep the colors. I might try to add a little bit of violet, because I don't want the colors to be too mundane or too close in color. It's kind of like when you're painting with acrylics. You want darks and lights. You don't want all one color hue, because the painting can get kind of boring. So like if you're ever painting with acrylics or really anything, and it's lacking interest, you can always just go back and add a little bit of black somewhere and blend it in, and it really adds depth to your painting. A friend of mine gave me a gourd. You know what gourds are? These giant, I think this is called an apple gourd, or look at that thing. Sorry. Look at that gourd. I can't fit it all in the camera. There it is. And it's got seeds inside. But I'm gonna paint it with flowers and cut a hole out of it and make a birdhouse out of that one. And then I'm going to paint, I got some antique windows. So I want to try to do a wreath on an antique window. I'd like to get that done today. I don't know if I'll do a video on that, because I don't know how many people would be interested in painting on a window. What do you guys think? Are you guys interested in painting on a window? I think I just picked up apple green. This is apple green, which is basically the same as lime green. They don't appear very different to me. Whatever this was. Oh, this is this. So this is meadow green. You can see the meadow green here versus the lime green over here. It looks pretty up against the turquoise blue. Oh, my hubby must be home. Okay.
I'm in bed yet, Dad. What? I'm being in a video.
Christopher's warning my husband. Mom's making a video. Say, yep, I am. So see how these are all starting to blend? So don't worry about mixing them. Try to get them even, you know, the same colors all the way around. I've got 2 purple spots. Let's see, 1, 2, 2 purple spots. I think I'll do a little bit of purple here at the bottom. There we go. And then I'll clean up the bottom here, I guess. So I'm going to blend this. Hope you can see okay there. Ah, avalanche. Avalanche, because I got so much junk sitting around. There you go. Now you're a little bit closer. There we go. Okay. Move my, there we go. Okay, so see, since I put the purple here, actually it's violet. It's called, well, it's actually called lilac purple, but it looks more like more like a violet, really. But anyway, so I got to blend it in, kind of. Rinse my brush out here. If you were painting a lot of pottery, a lot of stuff with underglazes, I would pick like 5 colors that I'm using, just stick brushes in all of them. But I'm not really even rinsing it out all the time. And then you just keep going back over like that. Some of them are a little more watered down than others. And you can always go back with your sponge too, and if you've gone too much over a color, and just bring it back a little bit. The yellow is probably the most translucent one. Oh, let's see here. I think I need another turquoise here. I'm trying to scooch up a little bit. I think there's oh no, he's gone. I had a dog under the table. My dog Charlie. So yeah, so we had a nice 4th. We always go up to my brother's house, who lives up in Upper Ohio, and up in Goshen, and we ride our quad runners around and our RTVs and ride through the woods and the creek, and it's all country up there. So that was a lot of fun. And then we had a few fireworks at night, but not a lot. Up there they have a lot of horses and things, so you got to be careful about the loud noises. Let's see, I got 2 colors here kind of together. Trying to think of a purple. I got that there. Got the dark green. I got 2 greens too here, so think I'll just do lime green. I got a blue here. So I think I'll add the lime green here. Did you guys do stuff for the 4th? Yeah, it's nice to do, I like the 4th of July. It's, you know, it's nice to commemorate our service men and women. There we go. I'm trying to add a little more yellow here. The yellow, this is about my probably my 4th coat of yellow. But I think I did accidentally spray some water in there, which I probably shouldn't have. Oops. I wanted purple. Stuck it in the wrong color. These kind of take a little longer than the normal pots. Gosh, it's so, well, maybe because I got these lights on, it's so hot in here. Whew. Hotta. Is there rain coming?
Yep.
Oh, my son just said, "Is rain coming?" We could use some rain. Well, we need some rain as long as it cools it down. If it gets, brings the humidity up, oh my gosh. You walk outside and it's like a sauna. I know I'm probably being a little too particular here, but you really don't have to take this long if you're, but I really want to blend these colors. They could probably be blended even more. One thing when you're painting on here too, try not to make them all the same size, which I have a bad habit of doing. Let's see. There we go. I think that looks pretty good. As far as the rim, let's see, I'm going to try to tidy up the rim here a little bit. So I get a straighter line. I'm not going to go over the top edge of it. Only because it looks kind of weird, I think, that all the top edges are, you know, like if you had all these different colors all the way around. I think the white is more uniform and looks a little better. But yeah, anyway, so it's been so long since I've done a video because, well, one of the reasons is just, you know, it took me a while to get ready for the art show that I had here at the house, and then of course we had the holidays. We had the 4th of July, and like I said, my brother came in town, so hung out with him a little bit, and then I had to go back to work, and well, then I don't know. Do you guys like to read? I got addicted to these books. They're I think it's L.J. Andrews. She writes about fairies and I guess witches and druids, and I guess that's called fantasy. And I I've always loved to read. I read mysteries, and I think this is, wait a minute, I gotta think here. This is what I believe this one is, this one here. Yeah, so I love to read, the typical romance beach books. I read one of those. I read 3 of the L.J. Andrews series, and then I read oh gosh, who's the other one? I can't think of what her name is. Then I read 3 of another one, so I read like 7 books in the last 3 weeks. I know, it's a little, once I get started, I can't stop. These books are just, they draw me in, and then I don't get anything done. Oh, but when it's so hot, I don't know, it makes me lazy. Like, I just don't feel like doing anything. It's terrible. So okay. There we go. I think I'm trying to not go over my colors, but sometimes it's hard to tell one color from another. I'm loving this. No, this is this one, I think. Getting my colors mixed up. These are like very similar in color, and the Mayco velvets, they don't have these well, I mean, they have a lot of colors, but I don't know, they don't seem to have some of these colors that the Kiwi Underglazes has. I'm liking this turquoise, but yeah, I'm hoping that I know by applying them thick, I really wanted them to be more softer. So I'm kind of taking my brush here and not really wiping them off though, but maybe it'll take off just a little bit. I really just want a softer look. They're really adhering though. I mean, they really grabbed hold of the clay. Oh, it's starting to rain now. We're big weather people here. We're always watching the Weather Channel. I don't know why, but okay. So let me just clean this up a little bit here. Now, if I wanted to, I could have waxed the bottom. I could have just dipped this in a little bit of wax, and then you'd have a nice clean edge, but I really don't worry about that a whole lot, You could also probably put a piece of tape around the bottom, but some people put rubber bands on them, but that wouldn't have worked in this case. I think that's good. Maybe get a little bit more. So that meadow green. I wonder if I added something to that, because it looks like maybe I put just a touch of blue in it. Maybe I did that by accident. I can't remember. All right, that's good. Stop playing, Lisa. Stop playing. Okay. So there is the bowl. So like I said, I wish these were a little more blended, but so this is B-Mix 5 with grog. This has well, obviously it has grog in it. It's been fired to cone 04. So this is Bisqueware. I prefer to paint on Bisqueware. I don't like painting on greenware because if it's kind of dry and you add these glazes to it, it can crack. And then you just wasted all your glazes and your time painting it. So I don't like doing that. And plus I can tell the colors. I can tell the colors what they're going to look like better than when than on greenware. You know, putting them over the white bisque, you can tell what the colors are going to be a little better. Oh, anyway, so now this isn't. Normally, I would wait for this to dry a little more, but I'm going to try to go ahead and that way I won't have to stop the video and restart it. I'm going to go ahead and do some designs on it. I don't. I mean, I guess I could put. I've got a ton of stencils, but I don't know what I did with them all. Well, I'm not gonna. You can take stencils and put the stencils right on here. I don't know what I did with them though. I hit a whole bunch. Well, I'm not gonna worry about it now. And stamps too. Let's see all my stamps in here. I got that. I took a lot of my stamps too to work. But I wanted to do a couple on here so you could see how to do that. These see-through ones, these rubber ones, work the best. The ones with the wood, the wooden backs are kind of, you can do it, but especially on a bowl, it makes it really difficult. Let's see. Well, well, I guess I won't be showing any rubber stamps either, except I'll do this one. Okay, so where are my black underglaze? My black underglaze is with my Mayco Velvets. But oh, here's more. Let's see. I have entirely too many craft supplies. Oh my gosh. Oh, I got something else to show you too at the end of the video. I hope I don't forget. Okay, so I'm going to take a little bit of this. This is the Mayco Velvet Black. This is the Jet Black. That's my favorite, is the Jet Black. I could have sworn that I had bought a Kiwi Black, but I don't see it. So, okay. Okay. Now, you can take any rubber stamp. This one, like I said, I prefer the ones that are just rubbery like that. And then you can take them. Oh, here's a glob over here. Let me move that over there. Get back over there. There you go. And you can just dip this in here like that. You don't want to get it too thick because it'll glob on there. but then you can just find a spot and look at that. Isn't that cool? Yeah, you just dip it in the glaze there. Let's do another one. Because I like that. I like that. I like that. That turned out. Yeah, see, it got kind of globby there, but that's okay. There you go. Yeah, I think that's okay. Now, I don't know what I'm going to do with all this. I'll probably put it in one of these. So, alrighty. So then I have my Xiem Applicator Bottle. These come in red and blue. Xiem. Mine has worn off here. But this is number 20 tip. It's the yellow one. And I put jet black underglaze in here. Amico velvet. And then I put just a touch of water. If you turn it upside down and it's dripping, you've added too much water. Take it all back out, or just add a little bit of extra underglaze. Or sometimes I'll leave the lid off and just let it sit for a week and some of that will evaporate. Anyway, okay. So now, I think I like to do a flower. You know me and flowers. So I think I'll do a flower. Find a spot here. I like this one because it's got the purple in it. So now when this is all dry, I'll probably just dip it in clear. If I decide to brush it on, I'll just do 2 coats of clear. And I'll put on 1 coat with a soft fan brush, and then put the second coat on when the first one is completely dry. There we go. It's really starting to rain now. Can you hear that? We have a rubber roof, so, and a flat roof. Our roof is flat, so we really hear the rain more than a lot of people. Okay. I just want to make sure before I set it down that the back side is dry. So I do not fire this before I add the clear. A lot of people ask me that. I have never had problems with putting the clear on and smearing this. But like I said, I use a nice soft fan brush. This is the only kind I will use. It's the Mayco number 8 soft fan CB618. And I can put that in the description. But that's, and when you put it in your clear glaze, you don't just dip it in and try to, scrub it on. You pump it so that you fill up these bristles with clear glaze. And then you just gently, just boom, 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 go fast. Get it all on there very gently. You don't even have to hardly touch the pot. Let it completely dry before you put the second one on. Then you should be fine. Wow, it's coming down in buckets now. Buckets. Okay, so I think I'm going to add some leaves. Hope you guys can see okay. my tomato plants are going to get watered, and my zucchini and cucumber, and as long as the beetles don't eat them first. Hold this up. Wow. It is coming down in buckets. There you go. So there's the flour. Let's see. Now I think I'm going to add, I always like to add these curly cues. They're a nice filler. I keep wanting to double check to make sure I'm not going to smear what's on the other side. And so when you're using this applicator bottle, you want to always be pulling it away from you. Don't push it, because it's going to fill up with that underglaze on here, and you're going to have to stick the pin back in it and clean it out. The faster you move, the thinner your lines are going to be. Let's see. I know I want to add, I'm going to add a heart. I'm trying to look at what some of the stuff I've got on this one. Trying to decide. There we go. I'll try and decide what to put in the heart. I'd like to put some kind of a design in there. And I should have put the sun here because it's yellow. I wanted to put a sun in there. I guess I could put the sun over here. Yeah, just keep a paper towel here next to it to every once in a while clean the tip off. Go. There's a little sun. Put another little curly cue there. So let's see what else. Oh yeah, I was gonna do a word. Let me see. Like I said, make sure you always got to make sure the other side's dry when you go to write on here, or go to, you know, do the opposite side. Let's see here. I guess I'll just do the word love. We need more love in this world, don't we? Let's see. And I'll hold it up in just a second. kind of messed up my V a little bit. There we go. If it clogs up a lot, and I leave this in here. I don't empty this out every time. So sometimes I will get oolites in here, which is little, I guess it's like little deposits of calcium. I'm not exactly sure what all the ingredients are, but they're little round balls, and sometimes you get sediment and stuff. So I will squirt this out through a sieve. Let me show you. Clayscapes Pottery sells these. I'm sure other places do too, but it's number 60 and it fits right in the jar of your glaze, which is really nice. So I just run it through here and get the particles out, because once you get particles in there, it's really hard to get them out. It'll continue to clog. When I sold my horse trailer, for those of you who follow me, I finally sold it, and I sold it to a couple who were going to make a lemonade stand out of it. So I thought, well, that's a good idea. Okay, so there's the love. And let's see, so then I'm going to do another design here. I'm going to do a little square design. This is clogging up a little bit on me. I'm wasting a lot of glaze, but so if you kind of lay it down, I probably have a little bit too much water in here. So it's not running, so I'm not going to worry about it, but yeah. Go. So I'm going to work on my other job today, is to work on my Etsy site. I am going to set up my Etsy shop again and reopen that. As I've talked about this before, my regular website that I pay a lot of money for, I get a lot of traffic there, but it's really weird. It's like traffic that's out of the country, that, I think there are more people who are looking to sell me stuff, like sell me, marketing stuff, or, I gotta move my chair. Sell me technical stuff, stuff to work on your website, and I used Wix, and I'm just, I don't know. It's out of, it's not located in the U.S., which is always kind of scary to me, because if you need, if you have any issues with them, you really can't do anything about it. So it always makes me nervous, because they have all your financial information. I mean, you know, and it's not like, you know, the company like Wix itself that's, you know, stealing your information, but you don't always know how secure their database is. And then, of course, you know, they've got all your financial, a lot of your financial information. I'm trying to put little dots on here. When you want it to come out, it doesn't. This thing will be empty by the time I'm done. So anyway, so I'm gonna eventually close down my main website and just go back to Etsy. Even though Etsy, you know, it does have higher fees, but you're not paying $350 to $450 a year. You know, just to pay to be on their browser or their server, their browser. So I still think the fees are a lot less at Etsy. So I don't really like how they do business, but you know, it's kind of like when you take your pottery or your artwork to somebody else's gallery to sell it. You know, you don't have a lot to say. I mean, you're using their shop to sell your stuff. And I used to run a shop with a friend of mine. We did consignment, and I wouldn't mind doing that again. That was really nice. She runs an ice cream truck now, though. So, okay, so let me I can't decide. I'm gonna go over this word love one more time, make it a little bit bigger outline, and that's because I'm not gonna put any design on the inside. So let me make sure that the back side is dry. I've been working in the garden too. Like I said, I put a little vegetable garden in. I love tomatoes. I love fresh grown tomatoes. We've been buying these plants. They're called honey sugar crisp, I think. They're they're cherry tomatoes, but they're yellow, like yellow orange. And I buy the seeds. Well, you can buy them at the store too, but you can buy the seeds from the Burpee plant company. And they are like little, they're like little bits of sugar. Oh, they're so good. I just eat them right off the plant. They usually don't even make it in the house. When my other dog was alive, my Brittany, Sophie, we called her Sophie Girl, she used to go out there and eat them off the plant too. She loved them. So, okay, so that's a little bit darker. So I think we're done. Okay, so there we go. I'm not really liking this dark spot here, but you know, it's a doodle bowl, so the flower's my favorite part. I love the flower. I think I'll leave the heart plain too. Since there's so much design on here, it kind of gives your eyes a space to relax as just looking at it. So, and this is pretty much how it will look. I mean, it'll be glossy, but other than that, the colors will be dead on to what you see here. I don't think the colors will change much. So anyway, so thanks for watching. I sure appreciate it. If you like this video, please click like and share. It helps me out to share the channel. And so have a great day. Thank you again for watching. And like, if you have any questions, just put them in the comments below. And I do try to answer all the questions. If I don't answer something, it's because I missed it somehow. But let me raise you up here. There we go. Look, it's, I don't know if you can see. Look, oh, it stopped, I think. Yeah, it's slowing down. Look at the sun's almost trying to come out. Anyway, thanks for watching. Have a great day.